It says it's recording.
Yeah, that's the Zoom. Oh crap. Hold on. All right. Say something.
Hey, what's up?
All right. Wait, hold on. I forgot the intro.
Ah, God damn it. Ah,
All right. So I think we got it right this time.
well, that's impossible.
Uh Although I don't know, my microphone doesn't seem to sound very well, but I'm not going to bother changing microphones right now. We'll just have to live with that. I'll hear how it sounds, and I'll change it next week if we have to.
You look like a 70s rock, like folk rock star. Like you could play with Crosby, Stills, and Nash or something, man.
Um. Well, yeah, I know. I just basically I just woke up. Oh, you know why my microphone's bad? Because my volume's turned way down. Oh, there we go.
I should be using the snowball, and I'm not.
Well, I think you sound better than I do. All right, so welcome to the Beat Cops Guide. I'm hearing a little echo.
No. I'm not. I don't hear any echo at all.
Oh, good. I can deal with it. I can deal with it better that way.
Sack up,
Um,
man.
so I titled the episode "Covidian" because because you had COVID, which is why we weren't here last week, and
Yeah.
I was thinking about something. I have to ask you because you're the only person that I personally know that has not had COVID until now.
Yeah.
So my question is, you've done everything. Wait, I gotta turn off the monitor thing on this. You've done everything that you've been told to do to avoid COVID, uh, and you avoided COVID for 2 years, and you got it anyway.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better. So my question is this: do you feel like you've wasted a lot of time?
No, I didn't get it anyway. I got it because I quit being vigilant. You
You
know,
were pretty vigilant.
I was vigilant up until I wasn't, and then I had I was vigilant, but I also it was almost like I was trying to get COVID. I mean, come on. In the last year, I've been to in the last since last November 2021, I've been to Egypt, Alabama, Georgia, um, uh, a wedding, two wedding receptions, and it was this. In all of those, I was like, nah. I was kind of being careful, but nah. The second wedding reception was a few 2 weeks ago, and that's the one that got me. I just got complacent, and I didn't mask up, and I didn't social distance, and I swapped drinks with people, and hugged about 87 people, and got COVID.
All right, wait. But here's my point: is I mean, you more than anybody I know took seriously all the COVID precautions.
Right.
You did everything that they told you to do,
Yeah.
and you avoided it for 2 years.
Yeah.
And now because partially because of my job and partially because I can't follow instructions very well. So I did not change my lifestyle at all, except for those first 2 weeks. And I've gotten COVID 3 times. so 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 here's a question I have for you though. Now that you've had it and
Yeah.
you've gotten over it, um, like I mean, I do you feel like okay, it was worth avoiding it for 2 years? It was worth completely changing your lifestyle for 2 years to avoid the sickness you're just now getting over.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Why was that bad for you?
it was pretty bad. But I mean, let's think about where I'm at right now. I've had all my vaccinations and boosters, like I'm completely up to date. So it was certainly not as bad as it could be. But if I had gotten it, for instance, before I ever got vaccinated, all right, and I hadn't been careful or anything like that and got it then, I probably would have been hospitalized, and that's not good. And if I'd gotten it after my first vaccine, it probably would have been pretty tough to deal with. Um, I think that I don't look at it as I got it anyway. I look at it as I quit being vigilant, and then of course, when I put myself in a situation that is basically textbook, here's how to get COVID, of course I got it.
All right.
You know,
Well, okay. So let me ask you this then, because now you're saying something that's it's kind of interesting to me in that before the vaccines came out, I can understand to say, okay, nobody really knew what was going to happen. Nobody, you know, we're both sort of immunocompromised because of our weight, and so we were both worried about it before the vaccines came out. But I remember at the time the vaccines came out, and we you and I were among the first vaccinated, and I said basically everybody's going to get it at some point, and now that everybody's vaccinated, they should just go about it. So let's separate prior to vaccination and after vaccination. You still stuck with the whole social distancing, staying away, staying in the house, even after you were vaccinated. Whereas I was like, this is crazy. We're all going to get it. We might as well, now that we're vaccinated, we might as well go out and get it as soon as possible. And like I said, I've gotten it 3 times. It's been no more than the flu, which I attribute to the vaccination.
right?
But um,
I mean, the vaccination. A lot of people. I've heard some people say, "Hey, if you're vaccinated, you can't get it," right? And I'm like, that's not how it works. Vaccination makes it less of a traumatic experience.
yeah,
You
we
know,
basically have changed the definition of vaccination now, but that's a
no,
whole
we haven't.
nother topic.
No, we haven't.
We were raised to believe that if you got a chickenpox vaccination, you were not going to get chickenpox. That's what vaccination
Vaccination.
meant.
No, vaccination works different for different things. The flu vaccinations we've been getting our whole life never prevented us from getting the flu. It made us able to handle the flu better. That's actually how all vaccinations work.
Yeah, but that's actually not true.
That is
Sorry.
true.
I mean, it's only true insofar that it's absolutely not true.
Okay. See, it's times like this when I wish.
Every year, I mean, we're 50 years old, Chris. Every year we get a flu vaccination, and every year
Actually, I
they
never
say,
got one until last year.
I don't get them very often either. But my point is, they have them every year, and every year they talk about whether or not the flu vaccination matched the strain of flu, because if you have the correct flu vaccination to the strain of flu that's out that year, you don't get the flu. If
All
you
right.
get
Well,
if you get the polio vaccination, you don't get polio. If you get the lockjaw vaccination,
but that's
by
not
the
how
way,
it works.
what the
You
hell
would
is
still you
lockjaw?
would still get you would if you it's not that you don't get polio, it's that when the polio bacteria or virus, whatever it is, infects you, your body is ready for it and
Yeah, you
fights it
kill
off
it.
so completely. So you do get it. You just fight it off so fast that you don't even know you had it. So you have no
Right.
symptoms or anything like that. So, but anyway, just this fucking vaccination shit.
Well, but I mean, and I'm a vaccination. I believe in the vaccination. My point is though, is do you think that once you got the vaccination, you should have just said fuck it and gone out and done what I did basically and live your life and get it
No.
and survive it?
Okay, first of all, I'm already a recluse. I was a recluse before COVID. All right, you know
Yeah.
that. I pretty much I hung out with you and pretty much nobody else.
But in your lodge.
Yeah, but I mean that's like once a month. And other than that, like I didn't. I went to the grocery store because I had to, but I really didn't go anywhere else. So it's not like I had a super active social life or anything. I was
Yeah.
already a recluse, and then COVID was just like the most beautiful ghosting experience excuse in the world.
Yeah.
And I was just able to say, so sorry, I can't make it because of fucking COVID. And um, And then I had people in my house that were actually immunocompromised, like they had a disease, and it made COVID terrifying for them. So I had to be for a year. I had to be more than a year. I had to be extra vigilant because I was protecting that person. And um, and so I don't. I've had. You're the second person that's asked me, like, do you regret all the? No, I don't regret any of that. I did what I thought was. And I still think it's correct to do that. I'm
Mm.
still. I'm back to right now. Like today's the first day I feel pretty normal. I'm still a little like it's the waves are still hitting me, but they're not as intense. And I have taken Paxlovid, so I mean that clearly helped a lot. Um, but uh, but I'm still not going out anywhere unless I have to, and I'm still if I do go somewhere, even if I go to a drive, if even if I pull up to a drive-through to get like McDonald's, I'm going to wear my mask so I don't
Oh,
breathe my germs into the drive-through. It's just a
yeah.
consideration thing, and I'm definitely I'm definitely social distancing because it's winter and just for some reason because we're all close together, everything gets popped up. But I feel bad because I gave my son COVID, and he
Well,
was
why?
like me. He
He's the
didn't
one
have
that
it
can
either.
handle it the most, right?
Well, he's doing more or less okay. But he was like me. He had not had it at all.
Yeah.
And when I tested positive, it was already too late. I mean, we live in the same house. We've been in the kitchen together. It was he was destined to get it. But I, immediately masked up and quarantined. But it didn't do much. I mean, I live at a fucking aquarium, so. But I mean, I'm still gonna maintain the social. I mean, people think COVID's over. COVID's not over. COVID's just gotten to a point where it's really manageable, you know, and if you've got all your medicine and everything, you probably survive it. I mean, don't forget, way back in the day, people didn't survive influenza,
Right.
all right? So it's
Right.
not like,
I mean, it has become COVID has become basically like the flu. Yes, people die from it, but you get your vaccines. It's very limited. If I mean, I'm of the opinion too. If you don't want to get your vaccine, God bless. That's your thing. But I'm not going to sit there and uh, how did you phrase it? I'm not going to. I'm not going to if you don't want to get a vaccine, that's fine. But then you go live your life. I'm going to go live my life, and you suffer the consequences of your choices.
yeah, I mean, if
Yeah.
you don't get the, okay, so for instance, I signed up for this will be a subject later in the show, but I signed up for a yoga class. And I asked the guy, I'm like, "What's the vaccination protocol and all that stuff?" And oh my God, it's so hard to get my dog to come in the fucking house. Come in the house. I'm on the radio. You goddamn dog. You know I'm on the radio. We've talked about this. You have a calendar. And so I asked the guy, "What's the protocol? What's your standards and everything?" He's like, "Yeah, we try to make sure everybody's vaccinated. We look at vax cards." He said, "But we've kind of relaxed our masking thing and we're social distance, but he said I want you to know there are some people in the class that are for various reasons unvaccinated." And I'm like, all right, well, you know how big is the class? I'm like, I can stay far away from those people, and so I'm still going to take that class. But
Oh, you just went silent. Uh,
why was I talking about this?
yeah, you were. I something about unvaccinated people. I don't. What? Why would you want to
I
stay
don't know what
away
my
from the
point
people?
was.
Well,
Well, I
all
mean,
right.
you can still look. I don't want to have it 3 times like you did. I mean, I it didn't last very
Wait,
long,
I'm
but
sorry. I'm sorry. My point is the people who are unvaccinated. It only affects them. Why would it affect you?
because if they have COVID because they're unvaccinated and they don't know it yet, because it's like day one, then they could be breathing it all over me.
Yeah, but if they're vaccinated, the one thing that everybody knows now that is the government has said, everybody says, is that it doesn't really slow the spread. If you're vaccinated and you have COVID, you're going to spread it just as much as if you're unvaccinated and you have COVID are going to spread it.
I guess that's true.
It doesn't matter.
You know?
The only thing that unvaccinated people do is they get it worse than vaccinated people do. And if that's you want to make that choice, then I'm not going to change my life for you.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
But anyway, all right, let's get off COVID because we can go down a rabbit hole. We only have 40 minutes because we're on Zoom.
I just want to
So
say it was not pleasant.
no, yeah, no, it's not. But neither is getting the flu. Neither is getting.
Here's the last thing, all right? The worst thing about it,
I hardly ever get the flu, by the way. So when I
me
get the
either.
flu, it affects the shit out of me.
Oh, I'm
And
like a huge baby when I get the
yeah,
flu.
I think
Actually,
I've gotten
I'm
it
worse.
twice.
I've been worse when I got the flu than I was while I had
I,
COVID.
I was telling somebody the other day, I've had COVID more often than I've had the flu in my adult life. I mean, when I
That
was a kid,
is,
since I've gotten out of school, I think I've had the flu, a real flu, not just a cold, but a real stomach flu or had, debilitating, put you in bed flu twice in my life, in my adult
hmm,
lifetime.
yeah,
And I've,
it ain't good. The only thing that was bad was when I did lose my sense of smell, but it came back all of a sudden, like
uh,
not over a day or anything like. It came back like over 1 hour, and I had been, as you know, like down and out. I've been had the COVID sweats, and so I hadn't really hadn't showered in like 3 days, and my sense of smell came back, and I went, "What the hell is that?" And I looked at the dog. I'm like, "What the hell?" And then I'm like, "Oh my God, that's me!" It was insane. I've never experienced that before in my life. It was weird.
all right. So let's move on to something else. You brought up yoga.
Yeah.
Are you taking goat yoga?
No, I'm not flexible enough for goat yoga.
Wait, well, you have to be flexible for goat yoga. I
You
actually
gotta.
just asked. I asked my daughter if she wanted to go to goat yoga. It sounded interesting to me, but maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I have the wrong idea what it is.
I mean, you have to get out on your hands and knees, and you have to do yoga poses where they can stand on you.
Oh yeah.
And so I don't know. I mean, I probably could, but I think I'm gonna wait a little bit. It does look cool though, and it's everywhere, man. We were driving through Alabama last time I was in Alabama, and I saw it in the hillbilly part of Alabama. A little sign that says "Goat Yoke," and I looked at this shotgun shack, that just looked like it was straight out of a, I don't know, little Abner cartoon. It says "Goat Yoga." I'm like, no, not there, buddy.
uh, so why now you're a big man. Why are you signing up for yoga?
I don't like being a big man. I don't think yoga is gonna do much to solve the weight problem, but I have become terrifically inflexible and stiff. And I mean, look at my job. I'm sedentary all day
Uh,
by necessity. You can't walk around and type, and uh, and so I'm doing it for that reason. Because I mean, I'm in my, I mean, physically, I'm in my mid 60s.
I went
So I need to get my shit together.
I went to the doctor last week because I may have blown out my ACL, which is very exciting. We could talk about that in a minute. But um it was my yearly physical, and the doctor was like, well, you should talk to a nutritionist. You need to lose weight. You've been trying to lose weight. And I'm like, all right, I'll talk to a nutritionist, but I don't know what they can tell me. I know I shouldn't eat as many Oreos as I do. It's that I can convince myself that it's okay. That a couple Oreos ain't gonna make a big deal. I could, but so the nutritionist calls me. We do a phone consultation, and we're going over different ideas. So right now I'm trying intermittent fasting,
Mm,
but we're going over different things, and I happen to mention, I said, part of my problem is that I've even my weight is my only problem. My health, other than that, is very good. My blood pressure is low. My heart's fantastic. My cholesterol is really low. And she goes, I was looking at your records, and I noticed that, and I was going to ask, are you on cholesterol medication? And I said, no, I don't take any medications. And she goes, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's almost like, so you and I are in the same boat in that regard, right? And it's almost like, if it weren't for the fact that we were overweight, we'd be like superhuman, you know?
I know. It's like she looks at it, she's like, yeah, this is it's almost like it's a medical miracle that I don't have diabetes. I mean, that's
Right.
the way they talk about it. And I'm
Every
like,
time I take that test, my doctor comes in, he looks at me, and he goes, I can't believe you don't have diabetes.
I know.
He's not like, congratulations. He says, I can't believe it. He goes, you should be dead. I'm like, thanks, doc.
But I did.
But the thing is, though, we are heading into our 60s, and we have that amazing fact about us that we're medically in good condition. Like I bet you also have like no cancer indicators or anything, you
No, but
know?
I have no history of it. Yeah, no family history.
So so that's why I'm doing the yoga, and that's why I'm trying to lose weight, because it'd be stupid to go into our elderhood with all that, with all that advantage fucked up because
Right.
can't stop eating fat back. So
I the way I phrase it always is I don't know any 300-pound 90-year-olds. So I
Jesus
I got to start
Christ,
thinking in terms of that
that's
now.
that is factual. Oh man, so what happened to your ACL? And listen, we really should consider. Okay, can I change the path for a moment?
Okay.
There's two things I want to talk about. One is I think we should change the name of our podcast.
Well,
Maybe,
no.
maybe, or something, or subtitle it to talk about basically our audience is men that are us.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And secondly, I do think we should do a new book,
I do too.
but I don't think we should do the same Beat Cops Guide we did before. I want to propose to you the Beat Cops Guide to After Midnight in Chicago.
Yeah, we talked about that before.
Yeah, I really want. I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think it'd be a really cool
The
book, a really
well,
different book.
the problem is that since COVID, there isn't a lot of those places that used to be all night are not anymore.
I mean, let's find out what's here. You know,
Yeah.
well, I mean, let's include the nearby suburbs because we may have to, but I just think that would be like an interregnum, like a interregnum. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Mm.
Like a in betweener to the next Beat Cops Guide. I just think it would be easy to write well, be relatively easy to write, and you work midnights, so you could keep an eye out, put the word out, find out where people are going, and I just think it would be I think it'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there.
All right.
So how'd you blow out your ACL?
I have no idea. All right. So here's the thing about my ACL. All right. So I go to the doctor last year, almost a year ago. It was in January. I slipped on some ice and went right down on one knee and hurt my knee. So
Your poor baby.
yeah, I know. I bruised it. It wasn't that bad. The pain just hung on for a while. So a month later, I go to the doctor, and they're like, they did an X-ray. We don't really see anything, so we'll send you for physical therapy. Physical therapy was phenomenal. I went for a couple months. It helped out. No more pain. Boom. So about a month ago, I started noticing weakness in my knee. No pain. It's just like I'm going up the stairs. It feels kind of weak, and I figured I'm fat, so I trying to diet. That doesn't seem to help. So I go to the doctor, and the doctor's like starts looking at my knee, and I'm sitting there with my heels flat, and he pulls my leg just below my knee, like pulls it towards him, and he goes, "Huh." I'm like, "What?" He goes, well, it doesn't usually move that much. And then he goes, "Let me check your other leg." My other leg goes, "No, it's locked up tight." He goes, "Yeah, your leg shouldn't move that much when you're sitting there." He goes, "We better get an MRI. I think you might have blown out your ACL." And he goes, "This doesn't hurt?" And I said, "No, it doesn't hurt at all."
You don't want to hear that from your doctor.
He goes,
This
"Did you
this doesn't
notice?"
hurt. I can't even see this needle.
He goes, did you notice any bruising or anything?" I go, "No, not really." Why? He goes, "Oh, it would have been really bruised." And I said, "No, I don't remember any bruising." So he might have torn my ACL. So anyway, what makes that exciting for me is I'm within 6 months of retirement now. So if
Mm.
I have to go and have knee surgery, um, that just means I'm retiring earlier, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I'll run that right into the last day.
Yeah, man. Bed rest into retirement.
So I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm not in pain. I don't believe it. I think they'll do an MRI and they'll turn out, no, it's fine. You're just gonna have to go to physical therapy to build up strength. That's
I mean,
usually
that's
what
probably
happens.
what it is
Yeah.
because you stopped physical therapy because you felt good, but I think physical therapy has to go longer than that, right?
No, I did whatever they told me to do. Um, it was a couple months. It was amazing, actually. Physical therapy, I thought it was just a kind of, all right, we don't want to do anything, so we'll send you to physical therapy. But they really did help out. They gave me a lot of new exercises. So,
I think yoga's physical exercise for me before I have an injury.
yeah,
Physical,
we
what'd you
started
call it?
taking
Therapy.
physical therapy.
Yeah.
We started taking a class as part of our training in the police department in yoga. And uh, it was actually, I mean, it's like once a year we get like some sort of class on wellness. And this year, yoga was part of it. And it was pretty funny, first of all, seeing all these fat policemen doing yoga.
Are they
But
in
then,
uniform?
no,
Okay.
but then it was actually pretty interesting because they started to explain and the poses we were doing, and they started to show how yoga really would affect police officers. And if you stop and think about it, think of every television show involving action packed police shootouts and shit uh uh that you've watched. If you freeze frame them and you look at the way people are standing, like when they're shooting, it's a yoga pose. It's like it's the
Downward facing Glock.
well, that's it's kind of, but it's some tree thing or something. I can't remember. They were showing pictures and they're like, look, if you do this pose, it will help you when you're getting cover behind a car. See this here? Here's a pic, and if you do this pose, it will help you protect your body while you're leaning around corners looking for people who
I'm
are,
just seeing a new TV show coming out of this. You know, I mean, I don't know what it would be called, but I mean, Yoga Cop. And just the guy can shoot from any angle because he's a yoga master.
it was pretty interesting. It was funny, but it was interesting too.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah.
going to be doing starting in January is yoga.
I'm sorry, I'm playing with the sound effects.
Yeah, so another wave is hitting me right now as we're talking. So
Oh,
that's why I've just sort of like that. It's weird because I mean, the waves are clearly smaller now, but man, when they hit, they just
like
the
waves of fatigue, you mean?
yeah, it's just fatigue. It's just I suddenly am so tired, and there's no reason for me to be tired, and I say Annie,
No, it was Michelle.
oh, and I just got no reason to be fatigued. I haven't done anything but sit here all day, and I'm just suddenly.
Well, we've been doing almost a half an hour, so I mean, we could do a short one this week and get back in the swing of things next week.
I wouldn't necessarily have to. I got a question for you. So my wife is out of town for another extended trip. She's out of town for a total of 3 weeks, which is good since I got COVID. And
Uh,
also weird because last time she did this, she got COVID. Um, do have you and Annie ever been away for a long time, apart for a long time? And if you were, do you observe TV loyalty while you're apart?
no, and we're really never apart for more than I don't think in we've been married 30 years. I don't think we've been apart for more than 3 days in 30 years.
Wow.
Just fishing trips. I mean, that's
I mean,
It's
it's the first for us this year, you know,
yeah.
and
Well,
both times is because of my daughters.
this next year is going to be because I've told her once I retire, I want to spend half my time in Tennessee, and we could switch off and do whatever. But you know, I
We're
got
gonna
to.
do it in April, right?
Yeah, I'm going in April. I'm going in for a weekend in January too. If you want to come, me and Nate.
I'm gonna be busy doing yoga in January, so sorry, won't be able to do downward facing Tennessee. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't like her being gone, but I mean, I know why she is. I think part of just like my wife has worked so hard for so long. I think she finds a little bit of adventure like that kind of cool. But she's taken a couple of cruises without me, because it's a cruise that I don't want to go on. We went on a Walking Dead cruise. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Really?
No, yeah, I'm like, she went with her sister and some other person. I'm like, I'm not doing that.
What's
But she was,
wait? What television show, if they turned it into a cruise, would you want to go on?
oh, Gilligan's Island for sure.
Well,
Um,
wait, but doesn't the boat sink in that cruise? I mean,
yeah. What crew? Okay, so first of all, what it is just a fan conference on the water. But it is true that the celebrities can't leave.
yeah,
You know, I don't know, man. I think hmm, probably
True Blood. That'd be.
no. I would think
Uh,
probably Big Fat Quiz from the BBC because all those people are really funny. I think my I think the reasons I would want people on a cruise are ridiculous. You
yeah,
know, I mean, I'm not thinking of hot chicks. I'm thinking of people that would be hilarious at the bar.
like Clarkson's Farm.
Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he would be fun. Um, I don't know what happened to that show. I don't think it came back.
I don't know, but I was watching Pluto last night, and Top Gear is on Pluto now.
What the hell is
So
Pluto?
some the free television channel. You download it, and it's got live TV for free.
Hmm.
But uh, so they got like a lot of these little shows. I watched This Old House on there. That's why I downloaded it. But they have Top Gear,
do you
which
you watch This Old House, which is a show that I think is cool, and I watch shows where people fix things in their home on YouTube. But I don't know about you, my house is falling apart. All right, I don't do any of that stuff. I watch them and I go, "Wow, that was really cool the way he replaced that screen door over the last hour." But I won't. My screen door is currently stuck open, and I'm not going to go
yeah.
fix it.
Well, I watch it like I'm like these people remodel their house, but you know that this costs $1 million. Where the hell are they
Yeah,
getting the money to
yeah,
do this?
from the TV show.
No, they don't get. They don't get no money from them.
This whole house guy gets money from his TV show.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But the people who actually own the house,
Oh,
they're
you're
they're
talking about
paying.
like house flippers or something like that.
No, no. In this old house, they take like the TV show doesn't own the house. They you audition just like any of the other home shows, and the people who own the house are going to redo their own house, and they get This Old House to do it.
Oh,
So they use better materials, and because they're doing it on TV, they're doing it the best job possible.
plus that's that
But
guy's job, and he
right,
knows what he's doing.
but they're still paying for it. So they have to pay all the remodeling costs. They might get
Man,
extra stuff, but I mean, I was watching one last night where it's from I forget 2000. It was season 30, so that's probably 13 years ago, or whatever. And they're using these timbers from this old ship that was sunk hundreds of years ago and forgotten about, and they found these old timbers, and now they cut them and they're using them in this house. And I'm like, that's got to be $1 million to recover these timbers and put this thing up, and it's just beautiful. But somebody's
okay,
paying
but
for
all
this
right,
crap.
but okay, but there's a guy out there somewhere whose business is to recover timbers, and you buy
Yeah,
the timbers from him. You know what I
right.
mean? So it's not like they rented a boat and learned how to scuba dive. and went down and got them themselves.
No, and actually, that's another thing I look at these jobs for, and I'm like, there are some cool things out there that you don't know. Like the guy whose job it is to go down in the swamp in the bayou and find these old growth trees that fell down 100 years ago, and because they're underwater, they're protected from all the elements, and you can now and they turn them into a dining room table.
Yeah.
And I mean that's a cool job, and I'm sitting there going, what the hell am I doing 30 years as a police officer for?
Yeah, but that guy's wife is a CEO. All right. You know what I mean? So it's like people look at me like writing is a cool job. What they don't understand is the only reason I can do this because my wife supports me, pretty much. That's the truth of these other guys too. Although there are some people like Clive Butcher, all right, as a photographer, and he photographs mostly wild Florida, and his photographs are there. He's a Ansel Adams style and level, and it's incredible. And he's out in the swamp all the time, and he's up to his hips in water and alligators and stuff like that. And that's his whole life, and he makes a ton of money, and it's kind of cool. He isn't supported by anybody. Like he actually made that happen. But most people that do stuff like that, I
Yeah.
don't, I don't. You see these guys on YouTube that make like these tables, and then they pour the resin in it, and they make it look like an ocean scene and everything. They're not making money off that.
No, I do that, and I don't make any money. I haven't been able to sell one yet.
You've made tables like that?
Yeah.
How many?
Well, let me put it this way: one that I would be comfortable putting on a website and trying to sell it, which I did, and it didn't sell because the cost of it's $200 to make it.
Yeah.
So I ended up giving it to my son.
Yeah.
But I'm working on another one. But the other thing is the cost of like the resin is so expensive that I tried to cut corners and use cheaper resin, and it didn't work out very well. It takes extra work, but
Every time I think of doing something like that, I'm just like, that is going to be so much work.
yeah.
And then I just don't do it because damn it, it's too much work.
All right. Well, I think we should end it there because we're about to run out of time
We
on
can
the
do the
Zoom.
thing where we're still talking when it cuts out, or I don't
No,
know.
I
I'm
don't
too
think so.
I'm too tired for that.
All
All
right.
right. Well, I'll
So
talk
thank
to
you
you.
for joining us on the B Cup Sky. We're going to do another live episode next Wednesday, and hopefully one of these days, if
I
we get
hope I'm
some
live.
listeners, we'll try to figure out how to take some calls. We can do that now, but
That would be
I have to
cool.
figure out how. So, all right. So I'll talk to you next week.
All right, bud.
How do you turn this on?